All right, just review multiplying decimals and dividing decimals. Well, actually, more so dividing, but multiplying decimals. So the first step, we count the number after the decimal on both numbers. So here we've got 4 and 4, or we have 1 on 32.4, and then you have 2 on 0.43. Therefore, I write a 3. That's going to tell me how many times I move the decimal in. Okay, step 2, multiply the top number by the bottom, by the ones value in the second number. So here I rewrote the numbers without a decimal, so it's 324 times 43. We're going to multiply 324 times 3. That 3 is in the ones place now. So when you do that, you get 1972. Third step, multiply top number by the tens value in the second number, so that tens value is the 4. We are multiplying by 40, so we do drop down that 0 first. And then as you go through, you get 12,960. And then last, add values together and bring the decimal in the number from step 1. So we add them all together, you get 13,932. We're going to bring that decimal in 3 because this 3 is the same thing that is from step 1, the value from step 1. Okay, so then the outcome is 13.932. Okay, likewise over here, same steps. You'll notice that there's only one number after the decimal on each of the numbers, so altogether that one is 2. So now it's negative 724 times 64. Step 2, I'm multiplying 724 by 4. I'm not going to put the negative here. You could, if you wanted to put a negative on both of them, and then your outcome is negative. But on the assignment, we don't need the negative in there. So now 724 times 4, that gives us 2,896. Now we move on to step 3. We're multiplying 724 times the tens value, which is 60. So add our 0. Now multiply everything by 6. And you get 43,440. Okay, last step. Now we divide them and move in the decimal. Sorry, not divide them, we add them. And when you add them together, you get negative 463.36. Because we move that decimal in 2 from the left. So, or sorry, 2 to the right. Nope, sorry, 2 from the left. There. And that gives us negative 463.36. Once again, it's negative because it is 1 negative times 1 positive, so the outcome is going to be negative. Okay, dividing multi-digit numbers. So once again, this is, you're going to carry this when dividing decimals, and there's a few that we'll see here, but for the most part, I just wanted to focus on the steps for long division. Okay, so we've got 7,884 divided by 18. So when we go ahead and place this here, once again, the first number is the dividend that goes under the bracket. Second number is the divisor, so that's out in front. So we're seeing how many times 18 can go into 78. So you're going through and breaking it in smaller chunks. So we're not trying to go 18 into 7,884. We go, okay, what is the first chunk of number that 18 can go into? And that would be 78. It can't go into 7, but it can go into 78. And that would be 4 times. So we take 4 and we times it by 18, and that gives us 72. Okay, we're looking for what the remainder is. So it's 78 minus 72. That leaves us with a remainder of 6. Our next step is we have to bring down the next number. So that would be our 68. Okay. Now we're checking to see how many times 18 can go into 68. So that would be 3 times. So 3 times 18 gives us 54. And then and now we subtract once again 68 minus 54. That leaves us with a remainder of 14. We still have one number to bring down, so we bring down that 4. So now it's how many times can 18 go into 144? And so we note that is 8 times. So the 8 is up top. We times 8 by 18, and that gives us this 144. Now we can multiply, now we can subtract, and 144 minus 144 is 0. We've brought everything down. There is no remainder, so we just end at 0. And those are the steps. Okay, and I've written them down here. You do repeat steps 1 and 2 until you do get a 0 or this last number starts repeating. Okay, so next one. Note it's a negative divided by a positive, so the outcome is going to be negative. I actually don't have that shown here, but add that negative sign. So once again, the first number is the dividend. That goes under the bracket. The 24 is the divisor, so that goes out in front. So 24 can not go into 6, but it can go into 65. It can go into 65 2 times. So we place the 2 up above the 5, because 24 can go to 65. The second number that it can go into, that's what goes up top. So 2 times 24 gives us 48. So now we've got 65 minus 48. And that leaves us with a remainder of 17. We have 17, so we bring down the 2, the next number in the dividend. Okay, so now 24 can go into 172 7 times. So 7 times 24, that gives us the 168. Okay, so now that we have that number, we subtract them, we get a remainder of 4. There's still one more number to bring down, so we bring down that 8. We've got 48. Now 24 can go into 48, and that would be 2 times. So 2 times 24 gives us 48. So now it's 48 minus 48. You get 0. So there we have solved. We've brought everything down, and we've terminated in 0. So we've satisfied all the conditions to be done with dividing these two numbers. Okay, next one, negative 633 divided by 12. Okay, so this one, once again, outcome will be negative. The front number is the dividend, and that goes under the bracket. 12 is the divisor. So we go into those steps. First one, find the number of times the divisor can go into the first two numbers. It could be the first number, but once again, 12 can't go into 6, so we go to the first two numbers. Anytime there's double-digit numbers as your divisor, it's going to be the first two numbers that you're going to multiply by. So 12 can go into 63 5 times. 5 times 12 gives us 60. So 63 minus 60 leaves us with a remainder of 3. We bring down that next number in line, which is the 3. You get 33. 24 can go into 33. 12 can go into 33 twice, which is 24. So 2 times 12 gives us 24. We subtract those, we get 9. So we've used all the terms, but we do not end in a 0. So we add our decimal. And when we add our decimal here behind the 3, we also have to add the decimal up here behind the 2. And there's always an infinite number of zeros behind the last value of any number after the decimal. We just don't usually write them because they're not necessary. In this case, we have to bring them because we're trying to either get a repeating number or the outcome to be 0. So this 0 that we brought in, we bring down. Now we have 90. 12 can go into 90 7 times. 7 times 12 is 84. We take 90 minus the 84. You get a remainder of 6. So once again, we're still not at 0, so we add another 0 and bring it down. Now we've got 60. 12 can go into 60 evenly, and that would be 5 times. So 5 times 12 is 60. 60 minus 60 is 0. So now we've terminated in 0, and there's nothing else to bring down. Notice we've added the decimal and added half point 0.75. So this one we had to add a couple extra zeros to get to that termination of 0. Okay, and then last one we'll go over. So now this one is a decimal. You've got 52.117 divided by 0.19. So here the first step, there's one extra step than what we have right here for the first one. You have to convert that divisor into a whole number. And so the way to do that is you're going to multiply that by 100. That's going to give you 19. In order to keep this equivalent, because think of it as a fraction, we have to multiply the 52.117 by 100 as well. And when we do that, that moves the decimal over 2 as well. And so now we've got our dividend as 5,211.7, and our divisor is 19. So now that we have that, now we go to the normal steps. So how many times can 19 go into 52? It can go into that 2 times. 2 times 19 is 38. So now we're going to subtract those values. You get a remainder of 14. And we bring down that next value, that 1 right here. And that's going to give us 141. And 19 can go into 141. And see, we write the 7 above the 1, 7 times. 7 times 19 gives us 133. Once we subtract those values, you get a remainder of 8. We need to bring down that next 1. So that arrow actually goes to that 1 right there. Let me clean this up a little bit here. Okay. So now we've got 81. 19 can go into 81 4 times. So we multiply the 4 times 19. You get 76. So 81 minus 76 gives us a remainder of 5. Once again, we bring down the next number that's in the value. And notice that decimal, we don't bring that decimal down and make it 5.7. The decimal value goes up top. So that's decimal's going to go behind the 4. And we bring the 7 down to make 57. So now we are looking at 19 times what makes 57, or gets us as close to 57, and that would be 3. 3 times 19 does equal 57. 57 minus 57 gives us 0. And now we have terminated in 0. And that is our final value. So it would be 274.3. So it's the same steps. The only difference is that adjustment at the very beginning, because we need our divisor to be a whole number. So we multiply those by both numbers by 100, or simply what we're doing is moving the decimal over 2 to the right. All right, and I'll just show the work on the last 2, but you can follow those steps. They're just kind of repeating the steps from above for dividing decimals or dividing multi-digit numbers and then multiplying decimals.